Hello sunflowers, welcome or welcome back. I'm Auna, and today I'm trying weird crochet tools so you don't have to. I can't believe that this is already part 3 of our trying weird crochet tools so you don't have to series. I keep thinking that we're going to run out of weird crochet tools to try, and like maybe we will eventually, but y'all keep giving me good ideas and I keep scouring the interwebs looking for more cool crochet tools and I keep finding them. As always, if you have any weird crochet tools you want me to try, let me know in the comments below. This is literally prettier than it was in the pictures. There's 2! Well, that's cool. These are little pendants that aren't actually sharp around the edges, but they have little notches, and the notches lead you to a little blade in the center that cuts your yarn. Let's take a look at this up close. It's really pretty. There's pretty patterns on it. This is just the one that was my favorite, so it's the one that I chose, but there were all different kinds of these on Amazon. As you can see, I'm pushing on the edges and it doesn't hurt you, doesn't cut you. There's a hole at the top where I assume you can put it on your keychain or maybe on a necklace. But the real question is, how does it cut yarn? I'm gonna be trying these out on a worsted weight yarn, a fuzzy worsted weight yarn, a size 6 bulky fuzzy yarn, a size 6 bulky yarn, and a jumbo size 7 fuzzy yarn. Starting with our worsted weight yarn. It cuts. It cuts. That was very, very, very easy. Moving on to our fuzzy worsted weight yarn. Even easier. I thought it was for sure going to work on worsted weight yarn and smaller, but 6 and 7 I'm just not sure about. So let's try it on this size 6 fuzzy yarn. That works super easily. The fuzzy yarns I feel like do cut a little bit easier than non-fuzzy yarns though, so let's give this one a test. A little more difficult. I kind of wish that these were like different widths so you could fit different sizes of yarn, but I do understand that they need to keep it small so you don't accidentally get cut. Okay, it works technically, but like you're probably not going to get the cleanest ends. Let me try it again. Let's see if that was user error. Maybe if I twist it a little bit like that, make it a little bit smaller. Okay, still getting some fuzzy edges, but twisting it, making it smaller is definitely going to be a better bet. Now for the jumbo. For the jumbo, let's see how this goes. Easy, easy, but once again, this was fuzzy yarn, fuzzy yarn. You can usually just break it is what I was going to say. Okay, yeah, you can just break it if you pull hard enough. So keep that in mind. It is a lot easier to cut than a yarn that is not a fuzzy yarn, but this technically cut all of these pieces of yarn. And I feel like wearing this on your necklace or having it on your keys is going to be easier than always having scissors with you, especially if you're like crocheting in the car. The necklace that I'm going to add this to is my amethyst necklace. Immediately one downside to putting this on a necklace is this is like pretty small. So unless your necklace chain has a very small end to it, you might have to attach this with a jump ring. Now I can very easily slide the jump ring onto the necklace. Now I have my yarn cutter with my amethyst, and that actually makes a really pretty necklace. I should take off my charm necklace. Let's see. That makes a really pretty necklace. Okay, let's pretend that I'm just wearing this. And let's say I'm crocheting and I want to cut my yarn, and I can just go like this. Done. The yarn is cut. It would probably be more convenient to wear this on like a really long chain. I just don't have a very long chain. The other place I want to put my little yarn cutter is actually on my keys. I think I'm going to put it on my key ring with my tiny crochet hooks that I reviewed in our last trying weird crochet thing, so you don't have to. I always learn things from y'all whenever I'm doing these videos. Like apparently this little key ring of crochet hooks is actually for knitting and like used for whenever you drop stitches. I had no idea. Can I tell y'all how I actually discovered these like crochet key rings? I was actually planning for my crocheting in the car video, the video that is the ultimate crochet passenger princess setup. And I was searching for things that were crocheting in the car. And when I searched for crocheting in the car, I found this little keyring of crochet hooks and I thought that it was so cute. I had no idea that this was used for knitting for whenever you drop a stitch. But like we established in the last video, I probably will not crochet with these, but they're a super cute keychain, and in a bind, I can now crochet and I can now cut my yarn. Overall, I really like this. It did technically cut all of our yarn, even if it was a little bit difficult on the size 6 6 bulky yarn. I do wish that it had slightly different sizes around it rather than all being the same size, but it's also good that it has so many different cuts around the side, because I feel like as one part of it gets dull, you can keep using different parts of it around the circle. I do wish the part that you're supposed to put like on a necklace chain was like a little bit bigger. I don't think that a lot of people are going to have chains just already at home that have small enough clasps to go through this. Now I might just happen to have really big necklace like clasps. I don't know, but I don't think this is going to fit a lot of just standard chains. I think you're gonna have to use a jump ring like I did. And I do wish that there were slightly different sizes around the circle. I wish that you could a little bit easier fit a chunky yarn in here to be able to cut it. Having said that, you definitely still can cut chunky yarn. It's just a little bit more difficult. Overall, this is something I really like. I think that it's aesthetically beautiful. I think that it's very utilitarian. I have to give this an 8 out of 10. Up next, I'm actually going to be reviewing just regular old crochet hooks. This is not something that I normally do, but when I saw these, I knew that I had to try them. I have reviewed crochet hooks in the past that like do something. In my first video of this series, I reviewed crochet hooks that actually count while you're using them. They were pretty cool. Y'all know how much I love everything of whimsy. You know that I love fairy core, you know that I love Renaissance fairs. So seeing these hooks that look like they just fell out of a fairy tale, I had to have them. But then I was like, I have to review these. I have to let you guys know if they're actually nice to use or not. Like, are these going to be ergonomic? Are these going to be a nightmare? I just don't know yet. First things first, let's look at the sizes that these hooks come in. They only come in 2.5 millimeters up through 6 millimeters, going up by 0.5 millimeter every time. I do like the colors. I think the colors are very pretty and pastel and aesthetic. I don't like that some of the colors look very similar, and I know there is like a difference in these colors, but I like to just know what color my crochet hook is. Like a 5 millimeter or 5.5 is what I use the most. So I'd be like, oh yes, yellow hook, grab it. So I'm not the biggest fan of these being very similar colors, but I mean, they are different if you really look at it. They're just a little bit too similar for me, but I understand there's only so many colors whenever you're keeping this type of like super pretty pastel color palette. It feels like the metal for the hook stops right about here because the rest of the hook is very, very, very bendy. All of them are like that from what I can tell. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been dealing with nerve damage in my arm from crocheting too much for the past couple years. So I'm always up for trying new crochet hooks, especially ones that look like they might be ergonomic. And speaking of ergonomic hooks, we're going to be trying something really cool next. Anytime you're watching like a crochet hook review, I feel like it's kind of important to see how they hold their hook versus how you hold your hook. And I think from talking to our community, we've kind of narrowed it down that there's two main ways people hold their hook. Let us know which one of these you do in the comments below. And if you hold your hook a different way, let us know that as well. So I personally hold my hook steak knife. It's kind of like you're cutting a piece of steak. But there's also people who hold their hook pencil, like you're using a pencil. It's funny because I feel like with these hooks, you kind of want to hold it pencil. Like it almost looks like a quill, like you're like writing with. But I usually hold mine steak knife. Sometimes if my hand starts hurting, I'll switch to pencil just to give it a little bit of a different feel and then switch back. But I usually do steak knife. I'm honestly just not as good at holding my hook pencil. I try to every now and then, but it just never quite feels right. I guess I've been crocheting steak knife for 20 something years, so that makes sense. I really like the way that this feels. When I'm crocheting steak knife, I love that this curve right here gives me a place to put my thumb. Very easy to use. Something I'll say immediately that I don't really like is, okay, so I like to crochet on a table or with my arms like on something. My occupational therapist said that I should not really be crocheting with my arms in the air, just like sitting. I should have my arm on a pillow or on a table. If I'm crocheting on a table, this hook is so long. Do you hear that? That it is just like hitting the table every single time. And I'm not a big fan of that. That might be the only thing I don't like about it. And that's only going to be applied if I'm crocheting at a table. I can just hold it a little bit higher in the air, I guess. I really like this grip. And I really like that all of the grips are this way. We're gonna have my thumb right against that. That feels really, really good in my hands. The curve feels good in my hand. The way that it continuously curves that way, so my pinky can be back here, it just feels good. I really like the shape of this hook. Obviously, I need to crochet more with these to get a better feel of it, but I think I can very confidently give these hooks a 9 out of 10. I really like how ergonomic they are. I like how they feel in my hands. I like that there's that little spot for my thumb. I really, really like this. The only thing I don't like is the way that it hits the table when I'm crocheting, and that's only gonna matter if you're crocheting on a table. So I would definitely give these a 9 out of 10. I think the only reason I can't give these a 10 out of 10 is that it does hit the table when I'm crocheting at the table, and I know a lot of people do crochet at tables or on surfaces, but these are pretty great. They're bendy, they're nice, they're beautiful, they're colorful, they feel good. I feel like if you have someone in your life who also loves the whimsy, loves fairy core, cottage core, loves going to Renaissance fairs and fairies, like, I feel like these hooks could just be a perfect gift for that person. They're beautiful. These are gorgeous. This is a gorgeous set. Hey, baby cakes. I love you. I did not tell her to sit here, by the way. She just chose to join us because she just loves us. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend checking out this video where I built Tilly her own living room. It was super fun. While we're on the topic of ergonomic hooks, let's try out this thing. If you've seen my videos in the past, you might know that if I only have this type of hook without like a grip on it, I will sometimes resort to putting either a beauty blender on it or a tennis ball to just make it a little bit more ergonomic. The beauty blender I really, really like. So when I saw this on Amazon, I just thought that I had to try it because it's actually shaped kind of like a beauty blender. According to the back that, oops, I kind of ripped up, it says this is for hooks size 2.5 millimeter up through 6.5 millimeter. And the hook we have is a 5.5 millimeter. Oops, I should not have ripped the back. Okay, if you get one of these, don't rip the back because it does tell you which millimeter is which. It's just color coded on the back. If you're new here, sometimes in these tutorials, you guys learn from my mistakes, just like this. Hold the longer section, the bottom, of the ergonomic handle in one hand. Twist the top section 1/2 turn counterclockwise, okay? Counterclockwise is this way, right? I feel like I'm gonna break it, y'all. Okay, that is not wanting to twist. If I go the other way. Oh my gosh, what am I doing wrong? Like this thing is going to come apart and I'm gonna put the washer inside of it, it looks like. Is it gonna work? Okay, it's coming apart. That was user error. Slide the appropriate size washer over the head of the crochet hook and push down, okay? Over the head of the crochet hook, push down. Place the top of the ergonomic handle over the crochet hook. Okay, I'm assuming now we just put it back together. If I can figure it out. If I didn't break it. Okay, no wait, that was way easier to put back together. Oh. Now the question of how does crocheting feel with this guy? That feels so nice. Oh my gosh, wait, that feels so natural. It feels like my beauty blender, but honestly even better. This is gonna be a really hard one to rate. Because like once you're using it, I mean like this hook just feels impeccable, but putting it together was kind of a nightmare. I mean, it's kind of user error. You guys know that sometimes this is just me messing up when I'm putting things together, but this is gonna be an interesting one to rate. This feels so nice. I might actually just leave my 5.5 millimeter hook in here because that's the one that I use the most. And then I could just use this on things like my temperature blanket. I really, really like using this hook, y'all. This hook really is such a dilemma of how to rate this, because even whenever I realized I was twisting it the wrong way, even whenever I twisted it the correct way, it was hard to get this apart. Maybe I was just doing something wrong, but even now I'm trying. Okay, it's working. Maybe mine was just stuck, right? Maybe something was just off. Like now it's pretty easily going on and off. Here's my thought process of why I'm struggling to rate this. If I was in the height of my nerve damage last year, when I was really struggling, I was in a lot of pain, my hands really hurt, I would not have been able to change this crochet hook out. I would not have been able to do this in the height of my nerve damage without it really, really hurting. Now, how it's working now, sure, I would be able to do it. This is really embarrassingly easy now. But when I was first doing it, it was really, really hard to do. And I feel like if you are already struggling with hand pains and arm pains and you're sitting here trying to like twist this apart, it's maybe going to be painful. But once you're actually using it, this hook is incredible. I really am just wondering if this was all just user error, y'all. Was this just because I twisted it the wrong way that very first time? I don't know. It was really, really hard to open and close, even the second time. Even though I twisted as far as I can to the right now. Okay, so I've twisted it, over tightened it. How hard is it? No, it should not have been that difficult in the beginning. I think maybe since it hadn't been opened yet, maybe it was just really stuck together or something. I don't know. I feel like it could have just been user error. Honestly, using it though makes up for how terrible it was to initially put this thing together, because this feels amazing to use. This feels like my beauty blender, but better. I like that it has like the sticky, grippy material. It doesn't feel like it's gonna slip out of your hands. I also low-key just love big ergonomic handles like this because you're less likely to lose your hook. I think I have to give this a 9 out of 10, just because it was difficult to put together in the beginning, and it might just be user error. So if you try this, let me know if you end up liking it. I really, really like it. I just don't want to like just rave about this and be like, yes, this is the best ergonomic hook that I've ever tried, because if you have hand pains, there's a chance that putting this hook together could be difficult for you. I'm not saying it will be. Mine might have been stuck. I might have just been like doing it wrong, which we know I was doing it wrong in the beginning. I don't know. Maybe it's actually just kind of difficult. It's interesting. So when I'm doing this, it feels like you need to keep twisting it to undo it. But once you twist, once it locks there, you have to just wiggle it apart. Now that I see that, and I see that there's like a little notch where it matches back up, it's kind of like I can visualize now what I'm doing whenever I take it apart and put it back together. But when you first get it, you don't know that. So learn from me. Twist. You feel like you should just keep untwisting, which is I think where my big problem was. You're just going to start wiggling it. So twist and then wiggle. Twist and then wiggle. Twist and then wiggle. Sounds like a dance. 9 out of 10. Very, very solid 9 out of 10. Let me know if you tried this, if you think this should have gotten a 10 out of 10. It could have just been me messing up opening it, but if I messed up, somebody else is probably going to mess up too whenever they try to open this. And I never want to lead y'all astray. So 9 out of 10. Oh wait, this is another reason I would give it a 9 out of 10, even if this worked perfectly. These little guys, I'm gonna lose them. I am going to lose these little guys. I really don't like when things come without any sort of like a case or a place to put them. What are you gonna do with all of these? Put them in like a baggie and then put them in with all your yarn? Like, yeah, this is another reason I would have given this a 9 out of 10. I feel like you're gonna have to buy a little bitty bag for this separate just to keep it all together, which is totally fine, but I do think with something like this, it would be nice if it just came together, or if there was like a place to store these like inside of here or something. There's not. That would be really cool too. So 9 out of 10. This next item is kind of a 2-for-1. I'm going to be showing you 2 different items, but we're really only going to be reviewing this one. This is a threader for yarn through a darning needle. I'm so excited about this because I have had yarn that was like really stubborn and I couldn't get it through a darning needle before, and then I would try to use those little bitty like flimsy sewing yarn threaders, and then it pulls the little pieces of wire out of the little metal thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? Has that ever happened to you? It happens to me every time I try to thread yarn through a darning needle with a regular needle threader, which makes sense. It's made for tiny little bitty thread. It's not made for yarn. So when I saw this thing, I was like, I have to try it. And literally, look at how cute this is. It looks like a little bitty pocket knife. Like, it's so cute. If you know me, you know that I'm always losing everything, and I always lose my darning needles. So when I saw this keychain, of course it's a keychain, we're just gonna keep building onto my keys an entire crochet setup. This keychain holder of darning needles, I had to get it. Y'all in my comments have also talked to me about darning needles that bend at the end, and I did not have a set of ones that bent at the end for crocheting and tucking in tails and stuff, so I had to get a set of these. I will literally use the Red Heart Granny square color changing yarn just to avoid weaving in tails. I will frog that thing 10 times to get it perfect instead of just weaving in tails. So maybe this will make me hate weaving in tails a little bit less. Similar to our yarn cutting pendant, I wanted to test this out with some different styles and sizes of yarn. With worsted weight yarn, it's usually pretty easy to thread your yarn without a needle threader, but sometimes it does start to really split your yarn. So let's try the needle threader. This thing goes through the eye of your needle, put it through the bigger hole that it has, and you pull it straight through. That is 100% easy and works perfectly. Let's use our fuzzy worsted weight yarn next, which is a little bit difficult to sometimes thread through a darning needle. That's super easy, works perfectly. Up next for our size 6 yarn that is not fuzzy, put that through, pull that through the eye of the needle, So easy. That's so much faster than trying to thread that. Now for our fuzzy size 6 yarn. That's so easy. Threaded, no problem. Oh, this thing is so cute. It's a little clover on it, or flower. Is it a flower or clover? I think it's a clover. This is so cute. Okay, and lastly, the question is, would I even be able to do this? I don't even think I could thread a size 7 fuzzy yarn. All right, can I thread a size 7 fuzzy yarn through a darning needle with this thing? Okay, goes onto that really easily. Will it pull through? Oh my gosh. That is actually like amazing. I don't know when I'm gonna need to use a darning needle with size 7 fuzzy yarn, but the fact that I can now is kind of cool. I'm obsessed. This little needle threader is absolutely a 10 out of 10. Super easy, 10 out of 10. It's super cute. It's super utilitarian. I can actually use a darning needle on massive yarn now if I want to. I love this little guy. It's so cute. Oh wait, it's definitely a clover because it literally says clover on the side of it. No, this is super, super cute. I love this. 10 out of 10. And not that I'm ranking this little travel kit of darning needles, but if I was, this would also get a 10 out of 10. This is super cute. And it can also go on my keys. Now we have a way to cut our yarn, a way to thread our yarn, and a way to crochet on my keys. This next one, we're going to be learning a new skill because this is going to be awesome, but I have no idea how to use it. This tool lets you make cord with yarn. So this could be used for like a sewing project, for knitting, for crocheting, whatever you're doing. I just know like I've crocheted tops before, and when I'm making like the straps for them, it's like they never really feel like straps. They never feel like cord. So this thing allegedly will let us make like a cord. Do you see? Do you see the vision we have here? I think you can also make like friendship bracelets, which is really cool. If you have that like stretchy stuff, let's open it up and learn how to use it. Yeah, nope, I'm completely confused. I'm going to be now looking up how to use the Wonder Knitter. No clue how to do this. It's mainly that I don't know how to start the project. I feel like once it's going, it has a pretty good explanation of what to do, but I don't know how to start the project.
Underneath, but you know another thing, you want to hold this other one with.
This is kind of complicated.
Like better, which
oh!
and go,
Wait, this is so cool! Thank you to Koala Knits and Knacks. I will tag their tutorial below in case you do get one of these, because I'm not going to be comprehending this well enough to make this a tutorial. Oh no, I messed up. Why do I have two things on there? Hold on. Oh no, how do you undo it? How do you undo it? What did I do wrong? Okay, wait, yeah, okay. So this is going to make a cord out of yarn that you could use as like the cord for like a hoodie, or like straps for like a crop top, or I don't know, anything you might need like a cord for. And I love this because I feel like I always just do like a single crochet back and forth whenever I'm doing a cord, and then it never actually looks like a cord. So this is gonna be really cool if this ends up working. Oh my gosh, this is so satisfying. Okay, I'm gonna show you a little up close. Like I said, I will link their tutorial below because they actually show you fully how to do it, and I don't really know what I'm doing, but this is cool. Okay, my sister-in-law makes hats like this for my nephew. It's like on one of the bigger ones, like the one that's like obviously like hat size. And I've always wanted to try one of those. I think I bought one and never used it. We need to dig that out and try to make hats this winter by doing this. Oh, this is so cool. I'm so worried that this is not going to look good. I feel like my stitches aren't like all going to be the same size. Uh-oh, oopsie. Okay, I got it. You can start to see it coming through. You can start to see the cord. Wait, this is so cool. This does spin either way, so if you are left-handed, you can do this the other direction with your other hand. This brings me a lot of joy. Oh my gosh, it's looking like a cord. This literally kind of feels like a fidget toy. Like I feel like I would do this when I was just anxious and then just make a bunch of cords. Gosh, you guys, it's a cord. Oh, it's so pretty. All right, I need to watch Koala so they can tell me how to finish the project. I have successfully learned how to cast off, I think, knock on wood, from Koala Knits and Knacks. Once again, I will link their tutorial below if you decide to get one of these. Okay, gonna finish off the last one and hope that it doesn't all fall apart. I think I followed their directions correctly. We'll see. Oh my gosh. Wait, this was so easy. Look how beautiful that was. I made that in just a couple minutes. Oh my gosh, y'all. What? Do you see the beauty that is this? And it's all stretchy. I love this tool. This is literally so cool. This is an easy 10 out of 10. I'm so excited to be using this. Like, I love this. This is so cool. Not that I make cords that often, but when I do, this looks so professional. It's so stretchy. It feels so nice. I feel like I could even make like toys for Tilly out of like cord like this with cotton yarn, of course. But y'all, I love this. Also, that's Tilly, if you don't know Tilly. I think I introduced Tilly earlier, but I am obsessed with this. Easy 10 out of 10. Well, friends, I think that concludes another episode of trying weird crochet tools so you don't have to. If you missed episodes 1 and 2, I will link them here if you want to watch them next. As always, if you want to try any of these tools for yourself, they are linked in the description. And if there's any more weird crochet tools that you want me to try out before you buy them, let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to put them in a future video. If you're new here, welcome to the Sunflower family. I'm Auna, and this is Tilly. We'll see you in the next one.